back to another Anime Kingdom review. See by title below, yes, this is on episode 4 of DanMachi Gaiden Sword Oratoria. And honestly, this episode was pretty good. In my opinion, I'm going to say it right here, I'm just going to consider the rest of the episodes like some introduction kind of shit. You know, because the first episode, in my opinion, it was okay. Like I said, it was kind of me just really kind of disappointed in considering how I expected it to be with how DanMachi was. And I just said, you know what? I'll just say it's an okay episode because, you know, it introduced the characters and everything and introduced kind of what's going on. But it didn't really do, like, much for it after that. The second episode, literally, in my opinion, it was a waste of time. Literally, I hated that episode. Just felt like fan service all over the place and no story progression, no character development, and like I said, it literally felt like a waste of time. Now, the third episode is where things start to get a little better. The beginning part, I still didn't really care for. Pretty much just left you being a fangirl and everything. But then, the whole connection with the ball, like I said before, this is where one of the things I was really interested in seeing was, since, you know, this is a complete side story, it's happening at the same time as DanMachi, I want to know the difference between this, from Aiza's point of view, from what's going on in, of course, Bell's point of view, you know? So that was one of the things that I was really interested in seeing. So that part was pretty interesting, along with, of course, Lefia finally not being a pushover and actually fighting, and that action scene was pretty good, along with the soundtrack and everything too. And it really got me hopeful to see how this episode would be. And honestly, I'm just going to say that this episode, you look at the other episodes' introductions, like I said, and this is where the story really starts. This is, in my opinion, where the season is finally starting, because I actually was pretty interested in this episode. The story progressed a lot. We saw a lot of things with the antagonist, a lot of mystery. That's one thing I like about this so far, is that it's kind of getting a different feel than DanMachi, the original first season, had. And that's what I like. It's happening at the same time, but it's kind of like different, you know, completely. You don't just look at it as like, oh, okay, whatever, it's just a side story. No, you look at it as a whole new story, but in the same world. And so far with this episode, it definitely gave this interesting mystery kind of feel. You know, you got everyone trying to figure out what's going on here. The beginning part was a lot darker than usual, with that one girl just literally just squeezing the guy's neck and his head just popping off, to which of course that connects us to at the very end, and it connects us to Eyes as well, which you have all these connections, honestly, that it got me really interested in seeing where the story is going to go from here. Because like I said before, the main antagonist looked like that one blonde god that we saw in that one episode when they're at the ball, the last episode, because he was saying stuff like he has some type of plan. And it got pretty interesting because when Loki and Beat went down to the sewers, found these, you know, those plant monsters once again, and then of course got up to the top and figured, you know, Beat saw, you know, noticed that the scent from them was the same from the sewer, and he, you know, the blonde god starts coming up with this whole story, to which honestly, it does make sense, but it seems a little too, like, he literally seemed like he had an answer for every question that Loki had. It just seemed like it was just, I don't know, in my opinion at least, I could be completely wrong, and he really is not the person that is orchestrating all this stuff, but because he said that he had some type of plan going on, and just because of how his answers seemed like he was absolutely ready for anything Loki said, it kind of just makes me think that he is really the one pulling the strings behind all of this. And that's one of the things that was interesting, was it wasn't like the action. Like, I already like Loki's character. She's always pretty damn funny, and seeing this kind of this back and forth banter between her and that dude, not banter, but discussion between what's going on, who's doing this, who's doing that, why are you doing, you know, there, and everything, and him pretty much saying that it was because, you know, someone killed his, you know, part of his familia and everything. And it, like, you know, you think, oh, okay, that would make sense, I would want revenge too. But it just seems like he knows all these kind of things, and he has an answer for everything, that it just seems like he knows exactly what's going on. But of course, like I said before, we won't really know until we see who this god that he's saying is actually the criminal, the person, or the potential criminal, potential antagonist, because this person is the one who started the whole monsterphilia thing, and that is this god Uranus, or Uranus if you want to be stupid and joke around. But yeah, until we see this god, we won't really know, and that's probably gonna, you know, be something that comes up in the next episode. Along with, honestly, like, I'm hoping we actually see more Beat. He is an ass, but he's actually pretty, he's a badass at points, you know. it was actually pretty cool. The action scenes that did happen in this episode was him fighting the plant things, using his kicks and everything. I wanted to see more of his fighting style. And then, you know, at first when he took out that knife, I was thinking, okay, so he does use not just, you know, his feet. He doesn't just kick her out. But he actually uses it. It's a magic item and makes fire kicks. And it was honestly pretty badass. His scent is also, you know, being able to smell out that the people were from the sewers. It was pretty cool. He actually, he went up in my, he's still an ass, but I'm definitely interested in seeing more of him in the series as well. Because it just seems like right now at this moment, hey, you know, I love it. It's just all, when it's all the girls and everything. But it would be interesting to see more of him, you know, and more Finn as well. Because, I mean, it's pretty funny how he reacts and how, like, the comedy in this episode was still in there as well. It's not just straight mystery and everything. There was the whole thing with the, when the guys were kind of, you know, oh, who, what if it was one of you? Because it has to be someone who killed a level 4 adventurer. It was a woman. And they're like, it could be you. It could be you. And then he looks at Tiona and was like, no, it can't be you because of how flat she was. And she got all mad. And then they look at Tiona and, come on, who wouldn't too? You just see her I don't know how she does it, but her opie just like, boom, just moves on its own, has a mind of its own. It's pretty much like Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. If you've played that game before, you know what I mean. And pretty much, it was pretty funny because she's like, she gets super mad and starts saying, you know, she's saving herself for Finn. And, you know, if they keep saying that kind of stuff, she's going to literally just tear off their, you know, thing that's between their legs. So yeah, you don't want to make her mad, especially when all the girls were like full on Finn as well, and she was just like beating them all the way, like, nope, I ain't having any of this shit. It's pretty funny, honestly, to see those kind of moments. And then this is where another of the big connection parts start to happen that I was actually really interested, is because this series is supposed to be, you know, centered around Eyes. And in this episode, we get to see her when she's younger, completely adorable, may I add, with her mother. And her mom looks just like her, except for one thing, and that's her eyes. She has these kind of cat-like eyes, or reptile eyes, that you do also see with the woman in the first, you know, parts of this episode. When she kills the guy, she has those eyes. And later on, you see that guy's face. We saw it at the beginning, and then I saw it at the end, and it's the same face, but the eyes are different. It's that woman's eyes. So I'm guessing she has some type of power where she could, I don't know, copy someone's face, or I don't know, gross as it may seem, put his head on her or put his face on her. I'm not too sure how, but that she obviously did that to make it so that no one would notice her, because no one really knows how the guy ended up looking and everything. He had a, you know, full on armor and everything, and the only reason they knew who it was because they, you know, put that potion thing or whatever on his back and read his, you know, his status and everything. That's the only reason they knew who he was. So even if someone looks at him, you know, in his face, they would not know. And that's why that woman ends up taking his face, wants to get whatever we see, you know, later on, which is this weird ass transparent egg or of some sorts or something, a ball, an egg, I'm not too sure. And it has this thing in it, which obviously it makes even more sense that it's connected to Eyes, because Eyes is mother and everything, because when Eyes grabs it, it opens its eyes and does something to her head, but when Lefia grabs it, nothing happens. So it honestly makes sense that this person, whoever it is that has those same type of eyes as his, you know, Eyes' mom, is connected to Eyes in some type of way, and we'll probably learn more about her mom and whoever that one guy is talking about. I'm not too sure if that was her dad, but the guy that says, you know, maybe you'll find a hero one day yourself, to which I was like, you already did, it's Belle. Go and find Belle already. And that's another thing, I cannot wait to see more of these kind of connections of it being a side story to the main DanMachi season 1, because right now we had no idea all this shit was happening before. We just saw the stuff from Belle's point of view, and I think the only time that we do see her with Belle again is when she starts to train him. And I can't wait to see kind of different point of view from her to this and everything. And like I said, that's why, like, there's like two parts for me that I'm really interested in seeing the rest of this series. In my opinion, this is where the story really starts. We got the story, you know, progressing with like this huge mystery of what is this connection with Eyes, with these people, with her mom, and with this weird transparent egg thing that this person murdered someone for. And then of course you also have the whole thing of who is really pulling the strings. Is that one blonde god actually, you know, telling the truth, or is he really the one that is, you know, commanding all of this kind of stuff, or is it actually this god Uranus or whatever? You know, it's really got me interested, honestly, and excited to see what's going to happen in these next episodes. It has a crazy mystery feel to it, along with some cool action scenes, along with, you know, hopeful character development with Aiz, which I have, you know, like I said before, I do like Aiz's character. I know a lot of people don't really care for her too much because, you know, she's not super explosive. She doesn't really have as much emotions. But when she does, with these kind of characters, when they really do show their emotions, that's when you're really like, holy shit, you know, it affects you even more than normal. And that's why I cannot wait to see more development for Aiz. And who knows, maybe, like I said before, Lefia changed my mind a little bit in the last episode. This episode didn't really give her a chance, but maybe she'll grow on me. Maybe she'll get better. If not, then whatever. I just want to see Aiz's point of view at least. And I'm still really interested in this story because I want to know, is this story connected to the main story in some way and connected with, you know, Belle's part of the story. And I actually want to tell you guys as well, I've been reading the DanMachi light novels, and it's pretty interesting so far. Nothing connecting what I've seen here. So it's kind of weird what's going on, if it will really connect everything, or is this just a side story that gets solved by the Loki Familia. It's actually pretty damn interesting so far, and I definitely enjoy this episode and cannot wait to see where it goes from here. Like I said, this, in my opinion, is the true start of DanMachi Gaiden Sword Oratoria. But like I said as well, this I'm not saying that this is the most amazing anime. This episode completely changed my mind about everything, but this is a start. This is a start that I wanted, that hopefully it gets better, and if it does get better, hopefully we get a true second season, because I am actually, you know, that's what I really wanted the whole time, and I know a lot of people want as well. So here's hoping, you know, fingers crossed that the rest of the season does get better, because so far every episode's gotten better and better. Well, first episode was okay, second episode got worse, but then the third one was pretty good. This one was actually really good, and I'm hoping it keeps going from there and there and there until we get to the last episode. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If you missed and you want to talk about, comment below as well. And if you did enjoy, don't forget to like. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. And yeah, I can't wait to see how the next episode goes. All this mystery, all these questions I have, will they be answered? Who the hell knows? But yeah, till next time, guys. See ya.